fighting between the Congolese army and the M23 rebel group, which captured the city earlier this year. Critics say that Kenya's decision could complicate an already fragile regional peace effort. We now speak to political analyst Jean Baptiste Gasominari, who give us a little bit more analysis on the situation. Thank you so much indeed for joining us, and welcome to the program.
That's fine.
Hi, Jean Baptiste. Baptiste, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Great. What message do you think the DRC government is sending by rejecting Kenya's appointment so swiftly?
Well, I think it was premature because what Kenya did was just a nomination by the president's office, which is one of its prerogatives to nominate diplomats that will serve in foreign lands. So, as the law says, actually, the executive nominates, and then these people are vetted by parliament. Once approved, their names are forwarded to the governments that are supposed to receive them as host countries. Then upon approval, that's when they can start working. So I think what DRC government did was premature because the consulate of Kenya in Goma, DRC, is not new. It has been there before. So if they were renewing the mandate or nominating new people, then I think the Kenyan government was right to do so, but it was up to the Congolese government to tell the Kenyan government when names are forwarded that they no longer control the city of Goma, and that therefore they cannot approve somebody who served there as a Kenyan consulate or a Kenyan consul, yes.
I am curious a little bit because there's a full embassy, I'm guessing, in Kinshasa already, right? And that these consulate offices are almost branches of the embassy in Kinshasa because of the size of the country. Here in South Africa, it's not uncommon to have an embassy in Pretoria and a consulate in Cape Town, Durban, or maybe even Johannesburg. Would you need special permission to have additional offices to the embassy, essentially?
Yes, actually, that's the case. That's the case. Kenya has an embassy in Kinshasa, and for some times back, it had also opened a consulate in Goma. But all were done with the full agreement of Kinshasa government. So the embassy in Kinshasa hasn't closed. The embassy is there. And the nomination also concern the Kinshasa embassy. So as I said earlier, it is up to the Kinshasa government to approve or to disapprove any candidate submitted to them for approval. So I do not see where lies a problem really, which even led the Minister of Foreign Affairs of DRC to call on phone the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Kenya. Because, you know, as diplomatic missions work, they work in full agreement with the host country. And it's up to the host country actually to decline or to approve any nominee to any position within the embassy. So for me, actually, I really do not see why people are agitated. Maybe it's because of the recent history between Kenya and DRC as far as AFC is concerned. By AFC, I mean Alliance Fleuve Congo, because I think 2 years back, there was also a protestation or an indignation from the government of Kinshasa, because the announcement of the creation of the alliance was made in Nairobi. Maybe it's because of that unfortunate event that took place 2 years back that led them to protest the nomination of a consul in Goma. But I think in while nominating, the Kenyan authorities just wanted to maybe renew their nominees, nominate new people on the position that were in existence before, long before the capture of the city of Goma by AFCM 23. And I think, as it stands now, there were so many diplomatic missions that were represented in Goma, which have moved to the city of Beni after the capture of Goma by AFC M23. So for me, I see it as a routine nomination by a government that is sovereign. Now the approval or the decline of those nominations lie in the hands of the government of Kinshasa.
Might Nairobi have been a bit more sensitive, given that the M23 effectively controlled Goma, that maybe a consulate there, a new consul general, might be seen as legitimizing the M23's control of the city, because they undoubtedly would have to deal with the local authority, inverted commas, which is the M23 at this time.
Yeah, but provided that the nomination is approved, and the approving authority is the Kinshasa government, not AFC M23. So I do not see how a consul may start working in a foreign land without his letters of accreditation being duly endorsed by the host government. So I do not see a rebellion or a movement like AFC endorsing on behalf of a government these letters of credence of a foreign diplomat. So for me, it is impossible, because nomination itself is not enough. So approval and presentation of these credence letters matter. And I do not see a Kenyan diplomat going to the head of AFC M23 for approval of his letter of credence. So I think it's something that is impossible, because the approving authority is the Kinshasa government, and I think they should have waited for the Kenyan government to forward the names. Then they would tell them that, yes, we have seen the names, but we cannot approve this unless if he or she works from Beni, where other institutions have moved to after the capture of the city of Goma by the rebel group AFC M23.
All right, so I'm just wondering now, it looks as if Kenya and DRC now are almost protagonists, and does that make it harder for Kenya to be seen as a mediator, as a moderator for issues in the region now?
Yeah, I don't think so for now, because when there is no mutual trust, I think you cannot mediate somebody who does not trust you. So if the authorities in Kenya or if the authorities in Kinshasa see Kenya as an ally or somebody who supports a rebellion that is fighting it, then that status of mediator would be questioned. So I don't think, but now the processes that are ongoing, I think the Nairobi process is a defunct process now. So the processes that now are ongoing is the one mediated by the president of Togo, mandated by African Union, and the one that is ongoing in Doha, Qatar, which is facilitated by Qatar, of course. So I really don't see Kenya being a mediator when it has lost trust from Kinshasa.
And then, practically on the ground, does this make any difference to the people in the eastern part of the DRC and those in Goma? This diplomatic row, spat, whatever we want to call it, between Nairobi and Kinshasa?
Not at all.
All right. So, what risks are there if this rift between Nairobi and Kinshasa escalates? Do you think?
I really don't see it. Well, maybe it will be just an escalation in statements and declarations, but it won't go beyond that point.
All right, and I guess perhaps could anything be done to try and calm the situation a little bit and step back and perhaps improve relations between the two countries?
Yeah, mainly dialogue, and I think it has started because as the media made it public yesterday, there was a phone call between the Congolese Minister of Foreign Affairs and the Prime Cabinet Minister in Kenya in charge of Foreign Affairs. So they have, since they have started talking, definitely they will continue talking until they get an agreement between between themselves.
All right, so that's where we're going to leave it. Thank you so much indeed for joining us and giving us your analysis, Jean Baptiste.
Thank you so much.
That was a look at this diplomatic row between Nairobi and Kinshasa, Kenya appointing, or in fact nominating, a consul general in Goma in the east of the DRC, and Kenya doesn't want anything to do with it. I mean, DRC doesn't want anything to do with it.
Mornings made